Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Just Parlays with Chris King. I'm along for the ride, as always. I'm your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at WHINERS.com. I think my main job here is just to make sure we bring this bad boy in under an hour. You know, ideally it'd be 55 minutes where I could have a minute to take the dog for a quick walk between shows. But yeah, it's not usually the way it goes. We got a lot to talk about. So welcome to the show, everybody. Good to have you here. What's up, Chris?
Not much. Just reading all these headlines, but apparently we're going to have a big argument between Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. I'm sure that won't carry into the regular season of college football, right?
That'll be fun, huh? Nick Saban accusing somebody else of buying players. That's quite ripe right there. If you think those kids are going to Alabama for free, I don't think you've been paying attention. And I'm not just talking about the last 2 years. I'm talking about the last 20 years. So,
and Max Scherzer, hoping he didn't suffer an injury yesterday because he left that game yesterday. I wonder if it's going to be like an oblique strain or something like that. He's supposed to have an MRI today.
He's Mizzou tough. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. So,
think about this, though. If he goes on the IL, then you don't have DeGrom, you won't have Scherzer, you don't have McGill. Who the hell is left? You've got Taijuan Walker and Chris Bassett, and then who are you going to throw out there? Dave Peterson?
I would imagine you're going to have to start stretching some people out of the pen. We'll see if he misses a turn in the rotation. We'll see how that goes.
Because that could be. I get the Mets are comfortably ahead in the East right now, but we've seen them, wilt like a flower in the summer heat. Down the stretch of seasons, and you have to wonder, do they have enough depth? And I'm sure Tim, if he pops in, will be able to give us an idea. But do you really want to have Trevor Williams going out there every fifth day? Or
what you got to talk about as well is when you start taking pieces out of the bullpen, then the bullpen gets weaker.
That's true too.
You get weaker starting pitchers, and you get weaker guys to back them up. So it just kind of is a ripple effect when you get a starter like that go down. So yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on the Scherzer injury situation and DeGrom's progress as far as when he's going to be back. So Chris and I were it's good to be doing the show. We were having an argument about whether bands should do cover songs or not. Chris,
it wasn't so much an argument. Everybody has different opinions. Some people like them. I don't.
Oh, that's an
like I said the other day, I didn't like Weezer covering Africa. I didn't like Weezer covering Tears for Fears. I didn't like when or I don't like sampling music either. I didn't like when what was it, Puff Daddy or whatever sampled Every Breath You Take by the Police and then tried to make it like it was a new song.
That was a huge hit. That's all I can say about that.
Or when they tried to sample Kashmir for the Godzilla movie, it's like what the hell was that?
Okay, well I think we're into two different things here. So
no, I'm just saying I'm not a fan of sampling, or I'm not necessarily a big fan of covers.
Well, we were talking about the Disturbed version of Land of Confusion, and I think it's a real rocker. I think I like both versions. I like the Genesis version, and I like the Disturbed version. But Chris says, no, you got to pick one. So.
No, I didn't say you had to pick one. I said you might like them both. I don't. I can't get past Dave Draymond's voice. He doesn't. It alters the song entirely for me, and it's not the same. I get the fact that the '80s one was, the video was kind of campy with the cross between the Muppets and whatever the hell they were.
It was the stuff of nightmares, is what those things were.
Yeah, and then I've seen the Disturbed version where it's all animated and the guy looks like a cross between a robot and whatever the hell he was supposed to be. And the S bouncing off. That little guy was ripped out of something, landing on his chest, and he just throws it down. It's like you're not sticking to what the whole concept was. He's not Superman if he's just going to throw the thing around.
Michael Dost has the Avalanche and Avalanche over 3.5. How do you feel about that?
Well, I like the Avs to win. I'd like to think that they have a better showing offensively than they did the other night.
Well, it wasn't for lack of trying.
This is true. Binnington did stand on his head. I kind of like the Binnington save prop again, too, because you have to think that Colorado's just going to keep firing pucks at the net.
I'm assuming they bumped it over 30.5.
Yeah, I think it's at 31.
31 and a half.
31 or 32. I see. 31 and a half.
AJ says McKinnon over shot prop seems doable as well. What, he had 8 shots the other night?
Yeah, and the bad part is that, the prop that I think I saw for him on shots was a low bar, but it had obviously came with the corresponding high juice to it too.
Right. Super Sly saying the Battle of Alberta did not disappoint.
The Battle of Alberta disappointed me because I didn't think that we were going to see a return to 1980s hockey where nobody could stop a puck.
Unbelievable.
Calgary scored 14 or 15 goals in 7 games against Dallas, and they come out and scored 9 in 1 game.
There you go.
I mean, were you expecting a 9-6 game when you saw that on the sheet?
No, and anybody that says they were is an absolute liar. Nobody was expecting 15 goals in a hockey game, especially in the playoffs. So
yeah, I thought you might. I know I took the under and stuff. I thought you might get 6. You might get maybe 7 at the most.
Yeah,
but I wasn't expecting 15 by any stretch of the imagination. I looked at it with 2-0, 40 or 50 seconds into the game.
If you took the alternative total there over 9.5, 10.5, you probably did okay.
Yeah, what's the McKinnon shot prop? I'm just trying to see if I can find it because they put him down as a star player on BetMGM's props. So, yeah, here's how bad it is: 3+ shots minus 650.
I was thinking 4.5 would be the playable number. Is that too low?
Like I said, all they've got for him is 3+.
Oh,
they don't have 4.5 is minus 150 now.
Okay, well that's approaching playable. I'm not sure I'd want to play much more than 4.5.
I mean, he seems to shoot a lot. I mean, if it was McDavid, would you go higher than 4.5?
Yeah, I get that.
Oh no, I'm just asking you from a personal perspective. If it was Connor McDavid over 4.5, would you? Or if it was over 5.5, would you go? Would you play on that?
I'd consider it more than I would for McKinnon. How about that?
I can respect it.
I think McDavid has less help than McKinnon has.
Yeah, it's basically McDavid and Draisaitl and pray that Zach Hyman or Evander Kane does something.
Right. James S says, yo. Well, yo to you, James S. Happy Thursday.
Yo.
Almost the end of the week for you regular working people.
Yeah, it must be nice.
Weekend, huh? That's cool. So Diamondbacks Cubs first 5 under. What did we say the wind was doing? Blowing out at Wrigley?
It was blowing towards left center.
Okay. So it's kind of coming off the lake still. So it's
yeah. Let me see if I can get an updated forecast on that.
In the meantime, while Chris checks traffic and weather on the 9s, I'll remind you guys to please hit that thumbs up, give us the like, and subscribe to both of our channels, the YouTube channel for Winners and Whiners and the YouTube channel for the Max Wagers Network. We appreciate the effort, all that clicking that you got to do with your mouse. We appreciate it. Don't think we don't. Thank you. We try to thank you enough, but I doubt we do. So thanks to everybody that hooks us up and makes us look good in the meantime. And don't forget to check out all the great offerings on the Max Wagers Network at noon o'clock. It's Sean Higgs doing Midday Money. 1 p.m. brings Allie Burns and her morning wood. 2 o'clock, well, you know where that is because that's me and Chris right here. 3 p.m. followed up by my partner and I, Scott Reichel, doing Back to the Window. 4 o'clock for all you soccer heads is Sean Miller talking about soccer from around the globe. Wrapping it all up 5 p.m. with Game Time Decision, featuring Detroit Lenny and the Earl brothers, Nick and Tim. So check out all of those if you are so inclined, if you have the afternoon off. And don't forget, all the shows should be available in podcast form as well. If you're on the run, if you don't have a ton of data, you can't watch those videos. We are available in podcast form. Of course, you miss 2 of the most handsome mugs in the business right here with me and this guy. So it does have its drawbacks listening in podcast form. Not going to say it.
First pitch, Game Time winds are expected to come out of the south-southeast at about 15 miles an hour, gusting up to 29.
Yeah, so that's dead. That's almost dead left. That's coming out of. You're getting a pretty good left-handed breeze. You get one up in the power alley, and that'll wrap around the pole.
Yeah, and then it's supposed to stay. It's going to drift to the south slightly at 15 and still gusting up around 28, 29 miles an hour. So Could be if they get the ball in the air, like you said, could turn into home run derby.
If anybody out there is asking why we talk about the weather, my question to you would be, why aren't you looking at the weather? Because you should be. If you're betting baseball games, you should absolutely be looking at the weather, especially as it gets warmer and those temperatures tend to heat up. The wind starts blowing out of the south, which is the direction that most home plates sit in. Do you know why that is, Chris?
I don't. I'd like to hear this.
It's because of the shadows, because of the late afternoon shadows. They're going to be more prominent in a reverse ballpark like that if it's aligned to the north. So
that makes sense.
You're gonna have shadows. So there you go. I want to remind you about the great deal we have going at Caesars. I don't know how long it's going to last, probably at least through this month. So please take advantage of it if you haven't already. First-time depositors, first-time bettors with the Caesars Sportsbook app. If it is in your state, you should celebrate and you should load up. You got a play you like. Maybe you got a prop from that hockey game tonight. Maybe you've got a side or a total that you like from the NBA game. Whatever it is, if you're locked in, you're normally let's say you're a $50 bettor. You're like, man, I'd like to bet 500 sometimes. You can do it. This is the opportunity for you because Caesars is giving you the first bet basically on the house. It's risk-free. It is insured, if you will, up to $1,100. So if you've got $1,000 you can throw in there to make your play, you should do it because Caesars will guarantee that play is not a loser. If you win, you win. And if you lose, Caesars will make you whole. Like I said, up to $1,100.
But then again, if you bet the second time you lose, then you're out of luck.
If you bet the second time you lose, you're out of luck. That's what I'm saying to you. So, and you have to use the specific code. And for our show, it is ATS Wins CZR. That's ATS Wins Caesar. That is in the show description, as well as the link that'll get you hooked up and going in all those states. Must be 21 to play, except in Wyoming and New Hampshire. And if you're looking for more plays from either one of us, Chris has some parlay premiums that you can check out in the link in the description of this video. And I've got my regular premium service as well. We've been running pretty good lately, so it's a good time to hop on the premium train for both of us. And I think that takes care of the business part.
Yep, all the housekeeping stuff. Lex said he tried using the weather in the past, and it never worked out for him.
Well, James wants to know if we're doing any horse racing this weekend. Chris, I don't believe we'll be talking about any horse racing, will we?
No, I believe I think somebody is, but I'm not sure if it's Craig that's doing it. I know
know. Scott and I will probably talk a little bit about the Preakness on Friday. We'll break that down a little bit. Honestly, after what happened in the Kentucky Derby, if you're out there taking any experts' advice, I wish you luck because I never saw such a clean sweep of experts being wrong on any event in my life. That is probably the biggest upset, both in Kentucky Derby terms and in terms of writers picking the picks. Because number one, they were handicapped by the fact that the horse didn't even become eligible till Friday morning. So a lot of the guys you saw come out early, like before Friday, worthless. I mean, I'm not going to lie. They were all telling you who you should bet on for second place. So
now, are you disappointed Rich Strike isn't going to run in the Preakness?
Yes, of course. You always want that Triple Crown possibility. You always want that alive. So yeah, but you do what's right for the horse. Let's be honest. That horse just made their owners untold millions with that victory.
So now are you going to be of the fact where you think Epicenter is going to bounce back? I know he's the heavy favorite there at 6-5. Then early voting and Secret Oath are next in line.
Honestly, I haven't broken down the field yet. I haven't seen who dropped out. I haven't seen who's been inserted. So I really don't feel qualified, even less qualified than usual. And I'm not a guy that, religiously follows the horses. But without looking at the field and breaking it down, I have no opinion.
Looks like right as of earlier they had 9 horses listed. Only one went off at 50 to 1. So hey, there's the one you should pick right there.
By the way, Allie and Detroit Lenny on the Morningwood show tomorrow have horse racing on. That's right. They got a dude on. I listened to him before the Kentucky Derby. Very good. Very good.
And Ryan's apparently at Citizens Bank Park watching the Padres and the Phillies behind the dugout. Yu Darvish and Kyle Gibson.
Outstanding. Kyle Gibson. Where do you go to school, Chris?
The Ninth Circle of Hell.
Mizzou. That's right. University of Missouri at Columbia. Kyle Gibson, another Tiger. Lex Steele said to try using the weather in the past. Never worked out for me. Yeah, I mean, it's not 100%. It's not a lock. I mean, you can get games where the wind's cranking out. The Royals had a series of those earlier in the season, like on their last homestand, where the wind was just cranking out of the south, and they couldn't score any fucking runs. So it's not a guaranteed thing. It's just something that you should factor into your handicapping, especially if you're looking at totals. All right, so
especially at a place like Wrigley, where the wind can either kill you or rack numbers up in a hurry.
Oh, you'll see totals 3.5 runs different at Wrigley based solely on the wind.
I remember still, and back in the 70s when you had that 23-22 game at Wrigley when it was the Phillies and the Cubs, and then in the 80s, ironically enough, it was the game where Ferris Bueller, when they taped the stuff at Wrigley Field, that game was 18-15. So I mean, you get those games, and then you get the games where you're lucky if anybody scores 2.
Well, for starters, they used to play all the games at Wrigley during the day, so that's always
going. I actually missed that because I used to come home from school and you turn on the TV and they were on TV.
It was great. It was absolutely great. You'd have Harry Carey every afternoon doing Cubs games.
Harry Carey and Steve Stone.
He was a Bud man and a Cubs fan, so that was the best part about him. So, hey man, we got people asking about games. I know we got games to get to. We got a couple hockey games. We got an NBA game. We got 3 whole baseball games.
Yeah, 3 of them. Count them.
So we should have about 35 minutes to do that, and I guarantee you we'll be rushed for time right at the end, as we only have literally 6 fucking games to talk about, and yet we won't be able to do it. Chris, let's get it started and show them that I'm right.
All right. Well, let's start off with the Astros and the Rangers. Texas played well. They swept the Angels. Who saw that coming?
No one.
They've won 4 in a row. So
I was like a guy with his hand on the stove in that series, Chris. Every time I keep putting it back. Oh, that's hot. Oh, fuck, it's still hot. Still hot.
At least on the bright side, at least we did take the over in that game.
That's right. That's right. I swore off the Angels. They're dead to me, at least against Texas.
Yeah. So the Rangers 17-19 now. They're only 7-7 on the road, so they've played a lot of games at home. Houston 24-14. They moved into first place in the AL West thanks to the Angels looking bad against Texas.
Right.
Everybody's favorite palindromic pitcher, Glenn Otto, on the mound. 1-1 with a 6.38 ERA, 1.418 whip, 10 walks, 16 strikeouts, and 18 and a third. Because Framber Valdez. You think Valdez deserves a better record than 2-2 with a 2.93 ERA?
Yeah. That's I expected a big step up from him this season. He's been fine. He hasn't been terrific. He's been terrific in a few games, but he's had his struggles in others. I expected more consistency and a little better record overall out of Valdez. I really thought he'd take that next step. You talk about
his numbers, and you look, he's only given up more than 3 runs in 1 start, and that was a loss to the Angels back on April 19th when he gave up 6 runs on 8 hits. In his 4 starts since then, he's given up a total of 7 runs, 6 earned over 26 innings.
Yeah, that's definitely an improvement.
Yeah, he lost to Toronto in a game where he gave up 3 runs on 2 hits.
And we saw a lot of pitchers this season that got hammered early. You could really tell the effect of that shortened spring training. They either got hammered in their first or second start, or first and second start, and by the time you started to write them off, they really got better. In Valdez, so far, has been one of those guys. So let's see if he continues that trend for the rest of the year.
Yeah, Houston, they're 5-1 in their last 6 that are lost. They got stomped yesterday by Boston. They're 17-4 in their last 21 on grass, 10-3 in their last 13 against Houston, a losing record. Texas 17-39 in their last 56 on the road against a left-handed starter, 22-56 in their last 78 on the road, period. And they do not like playing the Houston Astros. 20-43 in the last 63 meetings, and they've won just 4 times in the last 26 games at Minute Maid Park.
They're 17-4. Where do they not play on grass, Chris?
Tampa Bay.
Besides Tampa, where do they not play on grass?
Toronto, I think, still has AstroTurf.
Okay. All right. I just wondered when I
I think those are the two, aren't they? I don't think anybody in the National League has turf.
I'm trying to think of any indoor stadiums. I mean,
Milwaukee's retractable, but
right. And Arizona's got the roll it in, roll it out grass, I believe.
Yeah. That's true.
The same as
I'm going to lean towards those two.
Okay. All right. I'll just because you see that, and I'm like, I don't know how relevant that is anymore. That used to be a lot more relevant about 20 years ago.
Yeah, like just ask Vince Coleman.
Oh, sure. I mean, the Royals had when they put in brand new. Of course, they opened up with turf. They changed the turf, and hell, you'd have balls that would hit in the outfield and bounce over the outfielder's head. It was like watching the Super Bowl. When that turf was new, it was unbelievable. It was the most unnatural thing you ever saw. All right, so you got the Astros there, even after their shit in the bed against Boston.
Yeah, I mean, how good can you expect? Can you really expect Texas to win 5 in a row?
I'm expecting to win 4 in a row.
No, this is true. But I mean, I'm just looking at that bottom line there, and like I said, 4-22 in the last 26 games against the Astros in Houston.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Apparently, if there's a park that Texas doesn't like, it's Minute Maid Park.
Fair enough.
Lex also says, he's got the Astros run line at over 8. Doesn't 8 seem low to you?
Well, you don't know how much help you're going to get from the Rangers. I mean, I'd probably, if they'd let you play it, I'd probably play team total over 2. But you're looking at if you can get it at 4.5. Hopefully you can still get a decent price on 4.5, maybe juiced up to -130 or so.
I mean, I get your point about what you might not get anything from Texas, but you look in their last 4-game win streak, they've scored 30 runs.
I understand.
I can't figure that. It's like, wow, what the hell?
And they faced what, 2 good pitchers there?
I
know they faced
Syndergaard, they faced Detmers, and they faced Ohtani.
Okay, so they faced 3 good pitchers. I'd call that the meat of the rotation for the Angels.
Yeah, I mean, Syndergaard lasted 2/3 of an inning. Detmers went 3 2/3, and Ohtani went 6 yesterday.
Right.
So the game ended up. Oh, they lost in extras. Okay.
So then put it this way, I wouldn't play the under in that game.
Yeah.
And if the Astros, and it's kind of correlated because if the Astros covered the run line, obviously they're putting some runs on the board, which gives you a better chance to hit that over. So
I agree.
I'm okay with that, Lex. I'm sure Lex is thrilled to know that I approve of his bet that he's already made.
Yeah, well, we're supporting him so he can feel good.
Lights in Wrigley Field was an 8-8-88. I did not remember that. The game rained out. I do remember the game being rained out.
Yeah, they were going to face the Phillies.
I would have guessed the 80s. I probably would have guessed a couple of years earlier as far as lights go. I probably would have guessed 85, 86 if you put my feet to the fire. Right. I knew it was in the 80s for sure. I know people that are younger out there listening to the show going, What? There's a stadium that didn't have lights in the 80s? Yes, absolutely.
They're like the 80s. That was 70 years ago.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, all right. Well, it is kind of depressing to think that we are as far from 1988 as 1954 was when we were living those 1988 years.
True.
All right, buddy. What else you got? Any more baseball?
Mariners over the aforementioned Red Sox. I just, give Seattle credit. Yesterday they beat Kevin Gausman. We weren't expecting that necessarily.
No, we weren't.
Boston did get a win yesterday, but they're still 15-22, and they're still 6-10 at home. George Kirby, the latest phenom pitcher to be called up to the majors, making his 3rd major league start. He's got no record, an 0.90 ERA and 0.80 WHIP, 1 walk and 8 strikeouts in 10 innings, and he'll take on the grizzled veteran in Rich Hill, who seems like he's been pitching since 1973.
Is there anybody that does a better job of getting rid of their pitchers for maximum value than the Dodgers?
Well, they haven't got rid of Price yet.
No, well, they just but I'm looking at Rich Hill. I'm looking at
Alex Wood.
What's that? Alex Wood is another one. Who's the cat for the Asian guy that pitched for Minnesota?
Yeah, Ryu.
Hyun-Jin Ryu.
Don't forget they had Yu Darvish.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So anyway, nicely done. Hill not having a horrible season.
But he's not going deep in games either.
No.
We've talked about that being a problem for Boston because of their bullpen having issues. And you look at Hill's longest start of the year. He was coming in his last outing. He went 6. And he probably only went 6 because Boston scored 11 runs.
Yeah, fair enough.
But before that, he threw 5. He got a no decision, gave no runs on 1 hit in a game that Boston went on to lose 8-0.
Roof.
Before that, 4 scoreless innings on 1 hit against Baltimore, 4 scoreless innings against Tampa Bay. That was the game that I think Boston had been no hit going into the. No, wait, that was the day after. Okay. I was going to say the game where they were no hit after 9 and then got a hit in the 10th, but that was on the Sunday, not the Saturday. But I just can't, after Hill, then you got to go to Brazier, and I know they signed Cutter Crawford down. I just don't have a ton of faith in Boston's bullpen. You've talked about that before too.
Yep.
Neither team scores a ton of runs. I mean, if you look, Seattle's 25th in runs per game on the road. Boston's 26th in runs per game at home. The Mariners 11-4 in their last 15 on the road against teams with a losing record. Boston 2-6 in their last 8 at home. 1-4 in their last 5 as a home favorite. 3-13 in their last 16 after winning a game, and 1-6 in their last 7 as a favorite. It's not a big number there, but I'll take Seattle with the plus money. And Michael Doe saying, "Rich, don't call me Benny Hill."
Yep, I like the under there. That's my favorite play in that game.
Yeah, I've got the under.
Shot in the dark.
Shot in the dark.
And you're to blame. Chris, explain to me what 3-13 in their last 16 following a win proves. What does that do for us?
To me, it tells me that they have Lou Brown syndrome, where we won today. If we win tomorrow, that's 2 in a row. It's called a winning streak. So Boston's allergic to wins.
So to me, if I look at that, I equate that with a lack of consistency from your starting rotation.
Or a bad bullpen.
A bullpen that just doesn't have that many quality arms that you can trot out there on a day in, day out basis. So,
I guess they were fortunate yesterday because they didn't have to use a ton of arms because of the fact that, they beat Houston pretty soundly.
Right.
So, I mean, at least they'll have more guys on deck, but they're not necessarily good guys.
No, but they're probably better than the guys that pitched yesterday.
In fact, they didn't have to use anybody yesterday. Pivetta went the distance, and that's a scary thought, saying Nick Pivetta actually threw a complete game.
Roasted him pretty well yesterday, buddy.
I roast him pretty much every day because, I mean, he's every time he had an ERA of 10.03 a couple starts ago.
Yeah, well, now he doesn't.
No, but to be fair, he did face Texas before this starts. So,
I'm gonna weigh in on the other side of this one, Chris.
Okay.
I'm just not. I don't know how much faith I have in the youngster making his 3rd start, and it's in Fenway. That's my problem with Kirby. I'm pretty sure those aren't going to be his stats throughout the season. He's going to get bumped at some point, and I think this could be the day. We'll see. It may not be. The Red Sox, that's a bad baseball team.
I'm looking to see what the weather. They've got the wind at about 6 miles an hour blowing towards, the death trap out there on left center.
Right. Okay.
So at least it won't be a heavy wind, at least as of right now.
Coming out of the south, yeah.
Yep. Down there. Right.
So we're literally, Chris, there's another baseball game. Do you just want to talk about it? I know you don't have anything prepared, but there's only 3 games. It's the
the Cubs and the Diamondbacks.
Cubs and the Diamondbacks. We talked a little bit about the win situation there. Zach Gallen, who's been fantastic against Stroman.
Yeah, Stroman, he is coming off his first win of the year in his last start before he went on, I'm guessing it was the COVID list because there was the no designation.
Right.
He had thrown 7 scoreless, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts, and a 2-0 win back on May 1st. My concern with Stroman is, are they going to limit his innings because of the fact that he hasn't pitched in 2.5 weeks? Are you going to limit him to 75 or 80 pitches?
Yeah, I got to think that's going to come into play for sure.
And, Gallen has pitched well. Like you said, he's got an ERA of 1.05. His whip is .67. He's got a 7-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. And he pitched well when these teams met over the weekend. He threw 6 innings, gave 1 run on 2 hits with 1 walk and 9 strikeouts, but ended up with the ever popular no decision because You know what happened, right?
Right.
Arizona's bullpen blew it in the ninth.
Oh, that's right. That was that game. Yeah, okay.
Well, you could say that was that game. It was both games. They blew it on Saturday and Sunday. The games were tied in the ninth both days, and Arizona gave up the winning runs in the ninth.
I'll take a spin on the underdogs here.
Yeah, I mean, I like Gallen. He's pitched well, and I think the way I leaned with this was I went with Gallen's strikeout prop.
Okay.
Because it's over 5.5.
Okay.
I think it's like minus 125 or something like that. But you look at his last 2 starts, he struck out 9, like I said, in 6 innings against the Cubs at Chase Field. Before that, he struck out 7 against the Rockies.
Yeah, he's gone 33 over his last 5, which is 6.6. So yeah, that's solid.
And the lowest number he's had is 5 in that stretch.
All right, very good. How about some hockey? Any hockey?
Yeah, we got hockey.
Hockey.
We got the Lightning, and look, the Lightning are still underdogs.
Okay,
that head shake says it all, folks.
Scott doesn't
even have to say a word to express his disdain.
We talked about it. We talked this game out 2 days ago. Said, why am I not taking plus money with the Lightning? I did. They went out and won. I don't know why I'm changing here.
Well, that's why I didn't change it either. I mean, we talked about how experience is a big factor in the playoffs. And you're talking about a team that has been in won the Stanley Cup the last 2 years. This is Florida's first time in round 2, like we said the other day, since 1996. Bob Dole was running for president in 1996.
That's right.
God rest his soul. And just to show you how long ago it was. I mean, there was think about all the stuff that's happened since then.
Monica Lewinsky had not happened yet. The last time the Panthers won a playoff.
9/11 hadn't happened,
Nope. None of that.
The Red Sox hadn't won a World Series yet
right.
Since 1918.
The Royals weren't even halfway through their drought.
The Mets still hadn't won since 86 or been in the series since 86.
The stat that stands out to me in this list is Tampa Bay being 25-5 in their last 30 conference semifinal games. They not only win, they roll.
Oh yeah, they just destroyed people when it comes to the playoffs.
You undervalue this team at your own risk because they are 12-3 in their last 15 playoff games as an underdog.
I mean, are we missing something that Vegas is leaning this heavily on Florida?
Well,
I mean, I get that Florida's an explosive offensive team. They also have no power play goals in the playoffs.
Right. Their special teams were terrible the other night. They gave up three power play goals. Yeah. So no. I mean, you went into this series knowing Tampa Bay was going to be a dog in each one. You go, well, I'm going to bet the dog in each one. And if I win one, I'm up. So now you're playing with house money because you won.
Just to put it in perspective about the disparity of experience between these teams, like we said, this is Florida's first time they've been in the second round since 96. Tampa Bay has won 3 Stanley Cups and been to the finals 4 times in that span. And they didn't come in the league until 92, 93. They've been to the conference finals and lost in 3 other occasions. So you're talking about 7 times they've made it to the third round of the postseason.
Right.
And that's just since 03-04.
Now, history and logic tells you that the Panthers probably win this game. They probably split at home. It's unlikely going in that they would lose both games at home. However, when you lose that first one, the pressure gets a little tighter on the home team because, the Lightning, we talked about house money if you made this bet. The Lightning are playing with house money because you go into anytime you open the series on the road, what do you hope to do, Chris?
Yeah, you hope to go home 1-1 because then you've already stolen home ice advantage or
exactly
home field advantage or whatever.
You hope to go home 1-1 because you've stolen home ice advantage, and now you get to go and play 3 on your home ice with a chance to win without having going back to Florida. So,
the big concern that we talked about the other day going into game 1 too, when we said take Tampa Bay, was Tampa Bay got punched in the mouth by Toronto having to go to 7 games and to win game 6 in overtime and then win game 7 2-1.
Yep.
Tampa Bay probably got pushed harder than they've been pushed in a playoff series in the last few years.
Yeah.
And Florida, I know we talked about Washington, and they have Ovechkin and they have this and that. But after Washington wilted in Game 5 and blew a 3-0 lead, you knew they were dead in the water.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And now Florida, you have to wonder: are they just thinking they can just flip a switch and turn it on? That's not how it works in the playoffs.
Nope, it is not. So, yeah, basically, we find no reason not to back the Dogs at a good price here, almost 3-2 on your money. So,
yeah, to put it in perspective, Florida 0 for 21 with the power play in the playoffs. Their penalty killing.
That's unsustainable if you hope to move on.
And they've given up a power play goal in every game in the postseason so far.
Not ideal. Not ideal at all.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done.
All right, buddy. Got another one?
Yep. We got Colorado and the Blues. And give St. Louis credit. They hung tough against Colorado in Game 1, losing in overtime. 3-2. It's going to be Binnington, of course, because why would you start Ville Husso at this point?
Right.
Darcy Kemper for the Avs. And the big question is not so much can the Blues keep up offensively with Colorado, because it's tough to keep up for anybody to keep up with them. I don't know if the Oilers in the 80s could keep up with the way Colorado scores in today's era. With the Blues, they're going to have to be physical. They're going to have to smack people around and avoid taking trips to the penalty box. And the question then becomes, can they contain the Avalanche the way they did in Game 1? I mean, yeah, they gave up 3 goals, but it's not like Colorado was hurting for opportunities. They hit the post 5 times.
Yeah.
They had 54 shots.
I thought it was 52. I thought Binnington was 50. Was he 50 for 53 or 51 for 54? One of the two. At over 50. How about that?
Yeah, and you had astutely pointed out that Colorado was going to dump a lot of rubber on him, so to take the over on the save prop.
Yep.
He was 51 of 54.
Okay.
Because shots were 54-25 in favor of the Avalanche.
Yep. Now, obviously, a couple of things there aren't going to be able to continue. Number one, he's not going to be able to stop 51 of 54 shots. But more importantly, Colorado's probably not going to take 54 shots again in this game. But they could certainly put up a total in the low to mid 40s.
Yeah, and
I don't think that would stun anybody.
And I mean, you look at the shots that Colorado has put up in the playoffs. Game 1 against Nashville, 45. Game 2, 51. Game 3, 42. Game 4, 38. And then 54 in Game 1 of this series.
Brutal.
I mean,
you're a goalie.
For a goaltender you're basically hanging your goaltender out to dry, hoping he can, keep you in a game.
If you're a goalie, you're going home bruised against this team.
It's like, standing there getting pegged with a paintball gun.
Yep. Exactly right. So, my favorite play for this is obviously going to be Binnington over in saves again.
Do you give the Blues a chance?
Yeah, I mean they were.
I know they were right there.
I'll be honest with you. I really think they had their chance. I think they had their chance in Game 1. That's the one when your goalie does what he did. You hold him to 3 goals. That's your chance, and you hold him to 2 goals in regulation.
So you're basically treating it like Ingram in Nashville in Game 2.
Yeah.
When he stopped, gave the first goal on the first shot, stopped 49 in a row, then gave the winner in overtime in a 2-1 game.
Yep, that's exactly right. That was demoralizing for them, and I think the same thing is going to happen here. I wouldn't be surprised at this point to see that sweep everybody was talking about. Now, if this team, if they can find some defense and hold the Colorado to, I don't know what's holding Colorado, 40 shots.
Maybe 35.
Yeah, I mean 35 is the number that's in my head, but do you see a scenario where they only get off 35 shots?
I think the only way that would happen is if Colorado had an endless, trip to the penalty box, because in their last 10 games, their lowest shot total was 28, and that was a game where they rested half their guys because of the meaningless regular season finale.
Right.
Their shots 37, 31, 34, 46, 28, and then, like we said in the playoffs, 45, 51, 42, 38, 54.
Good luck. Good luck, Blues. Now, we have talked a little bit about Colorado covering the puck line. As good as they are, As good as Kemper is, for some reason, they tend to play down to the level of competition of their opponents. And they're not just a solid lock to cover the puck line. It's a shame, but that's why you see the gigantic disparity that you do, even bigger than you usually do, at
Right.
-230 and +105. So if you want to take a shot at Colorado, maybe to get that empty netter at the end, something like that. I mean, I think that's their best chance to cover the puck line.
Yeah, unless they come out and completely bury them early.
Yes, that's your other chance if they put up 3 in the first period. Something like that.
Michael brings up, he said, if Kemper gets hurt, St. Louis has a chance. Well, that's possible. Don't overlook, Pavel Francouz is no slouch either. I mean, he had a goal take over in Game 3 and then played in Game 4 against the Predators. And he had a decent regular season when he was asked to step in as well. So, I mean, it's not like you can just automatically say, well, the Blues have a shot if Francouz in, because on the year he's 15-5-1.
Yep. Very true. All right. We got some basketball? Any basketball?
Yeah, we got some basketball.
Okay.
We got the Heat and Celtics again.
Ooh.
Now, Marcus Smart is probable.
Good.
Al Horford, I don't think is going to play.
He's out.
Is he officially out? I saw they had listed him as doubtful originally, and I hadn't had a chance to go back and check.
Nope, still COVIDed.
Let me ask you, do you think that having Smart back he's obviously not going to be 100%, right?
Correct.
Derek White is listed as out for the Celtics tonight, though.
You know what? I need to look into this because I had read on Twitter Horford was out, and now I'm seeing Horford has been upgraded to questionable.
I see that as well on the league injury report. He's listed as questionable.
There you go. So that's and sometimes you have to read the tea leaves and read between the lines if you want to get down early on your action, and that would tend to look.
Okay, and as of 3 minutes ago, according to Shams Charania and Tim Bontemps, from The Athletic and ESPN, Al Horford is available tonight.
He has been cleared from COVID protocols. Yep, absolutely true. Yeah, he's tested out of protocols.
Which was fast because, before they were talking about he might be ready to play in Game 3, keyword being might.
Yep.
But apparently now he has been cleared, but Derek White is out because his wife is having a child, so he's, now gone.
Man's got to get his priorities right. So how does this change your assessment of this game?
Well, I mean, Horford, he's been decent. He's probably been better than decent in the playoffs.
I would think so.
He had a couple big games against the Bucks there. My question still relies on Smart. Is Smart 60%? Is Smart 90%? I mean, I get he's the defensive player of the year, whether we like it or not. But they have to find a way to stop Jimmy Butler. And if Smart is hobbled at all, is he going to have the mobility and the lateral quickness to stop Butler from slashing to the basket the way he did in Game 1?
Yeah, it really comes down to what exactly that foot injury was and how it affects his play. You're absolutely right, because you've got to have him at close to 100% to be able to contain Butler. 95 or above.
Butler shot how many free throws in that game? Like 400?
A shit ton.
I think he was like 15 of 16 or something like that at the line.
It was a lot.
He was getting plenty of trips.
He shot
17 of 18.
17 of 18, yes, that's correct.
What do you make of it? Do you think that Smart can contain Butler? Or are you concerned about that issue as well?
Well, if you've got a man that goes for 41 and gets to the line 18 times, I'm of the opinion of, what do you have to lose? Why not put the best defender in the league, arguably? But as far as the voting goes, he's the best defender in the league. And he's certainly top 5, maybe top 3. No argument about that.
Yeah, I won't argue that.
So yeah, I think you have to put Smart out there and hope for the best and hope the injury doesn't get in the way of doing what he needs to do to slow down Jimmy Buckets.
Are you going contrarian here? Or are you going to take the Celtics?
I like the Celtics here. Yeah, I do like them in this spot.
Even though you said the Heat were still the best team in the East, and you picked them to go to the finals.
Yeah, I really thought the Celtics would get one of these games. I really
Well,
did.
that line has shifted quickly because the only place it's at 3.5 still is BetMGM.
Okay.
Caesars has it at 2.5. WinBet has it down at 2.
I've already got my 3.5 in my pocket, buddy.
Well, I'm just saying for anybody that might be leaning the other way and thinking, about the Heat.
Hurry.
Yeah.
Get over there, get online, whatever you need to do. You're in one of those states, you start checking those lines, comparing those odds.
And it shifted the total. Strangely, it shifted it down. It was 208 when I did the stuff this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's down to 206.5 at BetMGM. It's 207 at Caesars.
Well, that was earlier today. I can tell you at 11 a.m. Eastern, or excuse me, noon Eastern time, it was 206.5.
Okay, see, I had gone through and done the slide for it at it was probably like 11:45 or something, or 11:30.
Okay.
At that point, it was still 208.
All right. Well, that must have been the smart news that kicked it down to 206.5.
You're probably right.
And then Horford now. So, all right, very good. So you like the Heat there to take care of business again against Boston. The Heat.
Yeah, I like it better now that it's only 2 or 2.5, because 3.5 I was a little bit little bit iffy, All
right, very solid. It's time to make that money, buddy.
Yep. And Lex said all of our picks are the parlay he made an hour ago. Well, see that just shows you that we know that we have our fingers on the pulse of the betting world when it comes to Lex Steele.
Great minds think alike, and so do ours.
And Bronco Devil said the line for Bennington saves has now gone up to 32.5.
See, that's where I expected it to be the other night.
Right.
When we were talking about that, I thought it'd be 31.5 in the 32 range, but okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Heat over the Celtics that we just talked about. I think Jimmy Butler is going to have another big game. I just don't know if Smart's going to be healthy enough to slow him down.
It's a gambler's favorite words. Correlation, buddy. Correlation.
There you go.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the Lightning over the Panthers, because why wouldn't you with plus money?
Why wouldn't you indeed?
And the Astros over the Rangers. I was also looking at the Tampa Bay to win in regulation prop. I think it was plus 195. So you can always throw that in there if you wanted to.
Sweet. All right.
Because that would be a nice return, plus 145 and then plus 195.
Yes, it would. That's a fair parlay right there.
I don't know what it would come out at off the top of my head. Do you have a rough guesstimate?
I do not.
I know you're usually pretty close ballpark wise with those.
What was it?
140 plus 145 and plus 195.
I don't do good with the pluses. I got to be honest with you. I'm going to say somewhere in the neighborhood plus 420. Let's find out.
Okay.
All right. I got the calculator up. Tell me again what we got. We got plus
145 and plus 195.
All right. Woo! Way off. 620. Undershot it. I've landed in the river valley, buddy. I did not make it to the other side. I Evel Knievel'd that shit. 622.
Wow, that's a nice return.
I don't know why I had 420 stuck in my brain. Who knows? Moving on. 420 for the show.
All right. We're gonna go with, like I said, I was gonna take Gallen's strikeout prop at minus 125. Like you say, struck out 9 the other day in 6 innings against Cubs. And the Cubs have a good wind power generation stat there. I think they're like 25th in strikeouts or something like that.
You're saying Lake Michigan ain't the only thing generating wind at Wrigley Field.
There you go.
All right.
I was going to take the Mariners over Boston. I'm going to take the Avs over the Blues like we talked about.
Yep.
And I'm going to take Bennington over the same number. I know Bronco just said it's 32.5, but when I did this, it was still 31.
Don't care.
It could probably be 38.5. And
I was gonna say, if it lands 32, come to my house. You can parade with torches in front of my house and burn it down, but I don't care if it's 31.5.
You don't have a house; you have an apartment.
That's the trick. See, I got insurance. I could use new equipment. I don't care. Everything worth a damn's in storage, man.
Well, there you go. That's a smart way to do it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right, and that takes us to
Bronco Devil actually knows where I live. He has my address. I know he does because he sent me a hat.
Yeah, I know. Where's my fucking hat?
You're wearing it on your head.
Yeah, I didn't get a new hat.
No, you didn't.
You're not even the host of this show.
Whatever. I am the host of this show. You're the talent.
Listen, Jim tried to pass himself off as the host of this show too. Until I see a jacket on your back that says "host," you're not the host.
That's you have to have a jacket.
Yeah.
So
you gotta be like Bobby the Brain Heenan and have a sequin jacket that says "host."
I need no such thing.
So that takes us a shot in the dark, and like you said, Scott, earlier, I'm going to take the Mariners and Red Sox to stay under 8. We talked about how both these teams struggle when it comes to putting runs on the board in their respective environments. By the same token, I'm hoping that, maybe the wind will magically change and it won't blow out at Wrigley Field tonight.
See, wind blowing out, but dead baseball equals push.
So, yeah, that or everybody will just beat the ball into the ground.
There you go. Attaboy.
Because Gallen doesn't give up a lot of homers that I know of.
What's his fly out to ground out ratio?
I'm gonna check here. Let's see. He's given up 1 homer in 34 1/3.
That's good.
Ground ball rate 44.7. Fly ball rate 29.4.
Is that good?
Well, that's what, 1.5 to 1.
I love fucking with him. 29% fly ball rate, not ideal. He is putting some balls in the air. Yeah,
I gotta see what Stroman's is because I don't know off the top of my head. Stroman, he's at 20.3.
There you go.
Ground ball rate's the same, but he's got a 29.1% line drive percentage.
Not ideal, but not necessarily a bad thing if you're looking to stop home runs. Line drives don't usually equal home runs. So
true.
Moving on.
Then we've got the Rangers, Astros. We said that number seems a little low. Texas average or scored 30 runs in the last 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for that to go over. Same time, I'm going to take Valdez to go over 5.5 strikeouts. I just don't think Texas is going to sustain that kind of battering.
Okay.
And, Marcus Semien still sucking in the lineup for the Rangers. I have to wonder, if I'm the Rangers, do I feel bad that I paid him $25 million plus a year to, not hit?
Yes, you do.
Celtics, like I said, Celtics, the Heat, I had it at 208. Like you said, now it's at 206.5 or 207, depending where you look.
Right.
I'm going to go with Gabe Vincent over 10.5 points. And everybody's like, who the fuck is Gabe Vincent? Well, if you watched the game the other day, you would have seen him shoot the ball more than Bam Adebayo. Of course, pretty much everybody not named Duncan Robinson shot the ball more than Bam Adebayo the other night.
True.
But Vincent the other night, he was 5 of 10 from the floor, 3 of 7 from 3, hit all 4 of his free throws, finished with 17 points. Okay. Played 33 minutes and change. He's gone over 15 in 2 of his last 3. Butler over 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The other day, he did this just in points. He probably won't put up 41 tonight, but, he's pretty good on the glass and he can dish the ball off.
Right.
And then I look for Tampa and Florida to stay under 6.5 after watching Florida do absolutely nothing the other day. I'm not convinced they're going to put up a whole bunch of points.
Right.
The Blues and Avalanche, I'm going to go over 6.5. By the same token, I don't know if Bennington can stand on his head again. We saw that with Ingram in the first series where he did that in game 2 and then got lit up in game 3.
So that's what is that? That's a save percentage of roughly 96 and change, 96.2, something like that.
Yeah, pretty close.
51 of 54.
94-4.
94-4. Okay. So that's
pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Yeah, it is. So I don't hate that. And you got a little player prop there, buddy, to finish it up.
Jordan Kyrou. He scored the tying goal in the third period the other night. I looked for him to go over 2.5 shots at plus money. Bronco just told us that the Orioles went ahead 6-5 on the Yankees. Don't tell Reichel.
I'm sure he knows. He's probably got a live. He's probably got a live bet on the Yankees -1.
Look at that. The Royals up 2-0.
God damn! Break up the Royals.
2-0.
That does not go well with my first 5 Chicago run line. I'm going to tell you that right now, buddy.
Yeah, they're in the bottom of the second.
That's not ideal. Not ideal.
The White Sox have no hits so far.
That's all right. It's Hernandez.
That's true. I mean, he's due.
I got 3 more innings for him to suck. So we're okay.
Yeah, I've read that start against Baltimore where he had 4 scoreless innings and they gave him 6 in the 5th.
Yep. It happens. So, all right. Any final thoughts?
No, I mean, hopefully, all your bets pan out for you guys and have a profitable day. And we'll see you again tomorrow.
There you go.
Same time, same bat channel, so Scott can go walk the dog before he comes back for his show.
Guys, have a great day. We do thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to check out me and Scott here in a minute. I got to run over to the other studio and get ready for that show. And he's Chris King.
And don't forget, tomorrow we'll have the NASCAR show.
Yeah, I guess I thought about taking the day off because it's the All-Star race.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's fine for me then.
So I don't know. I have to see. I want to talk to the powers that be. We might take that off, but
yeah, keep me posted. I didn't realize it was the All-Star race.
Yep, it is.
Those are dumb.
And yeah, because Rye will be out of town as well. So
is he going to the race?
No, he's going to a wedding.
Oh well.
Yep. So anyway,
I guess we'll let that slide.
Hey, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for checking us out. Check out me and Scott. But if you can't make it back for that, do make it back for our show tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central. Chris and I, we talk about a lot of stuff, man, but we try to concentrate as best we can on
Just Parlays.
Just Parlays. That's right, everybody. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy the beautiful weather for a lot of you out there. And yeah, we'll be back and do it again tomorrow. Take care, everybody.